What's going on? Straight the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will set you free. Yes, sir. Namaste. Peace and blessings to you, awakening one. Shout out to the awoke ones if you're watching. Uh, I'm coming back with another video. And this video is going to be another confession video. Hence, I just basically had something on my mind and I wanted to come and speak with you, awakening one, about it. And have a little quick short story time about the time when I was controlled by video games. Now, this isn't to say anything against people who play video games. I love video games. This isn't anything like that. This isn't no story time to say that video games are uncontrollable, because they can be controlled when you become when you self-reflect and know that a game is a game. It doesn't have control over you. But in this story time, before then, my life was very much controlled by video games. And knowing what I know now about my past life and me playing video games, I definitely was someone to be obsessed to the video game. But I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it. So, video games, at first, I was normal like any other kid. I did not really know anything about electronics or, games until literally later on in my life. So, I came across the very first game, device ever made. Back then, I was in 4th grade, and it was at my elementary school where I was going. And it was a boy there who had a Game Boy Advance. Now, Game Boys back then were just different. Those are a different type of device, electronic device back then. If you didn't have one, then you were lost, because everybody was playing on a Game Boy back then. So I came across the very first one that I seen ever in my life, and when I seen it, it changed my motherfucking life. It changed me forever, and I was so hooked to that Game Boy Advance that it stuck with me. It forever stuck with me, to the point where, yeah, they already knew they had me with that device. When I seen that, it was something new. I never seen it before. I never knew anything about gaming devices up until that point in my life when I first seen that one. And I'm young in elementary school, so it's like, damn, I'm a kid. So that was bad timing for me to ever have to see a Game Boy, see an electronic device at a young age, because I was ripped away. I was ripping myself away from my life right then and there. So to move forward, I end up getting my very first home Game Boy. And when I got mine, I became immersed with that motherfucker. I always had it. I never went anywhere without it. I got mine for the first time, and it was like my sidekick. It was on me 24/7. Everywhere I went, I had it with me. Never put it down. Always played it. And had to keep a fresh pair of batteries on me, because, had to make sure it was charged. Not charged, but it had to make sure it was batteries within it. Excuse me. I think you could charge them back then. I'm not sure. But yeah, I always had to keep the batteries on deck, just in case if that boy died. But shit, that thing was my best friend. It really was. And then We fast forward a little bit. That's when the Game Boy Advance came out. And when that came out, whoo, it was the next level to the electronic devices, the next level to the handhelds. And just like, the wave that I was on, I was already on that video game wave. I was like, gotta get it. And I got that. And that became my obsession as well. It became my obsession. I took it with me everywhere. I never sat it down. Always was playing it. Always. Always, always, always. And I was so tapped in, just into this little handheld, just so tapped into that motherfucker. And you know what I'm saying? I didn't see outside of it. I was there in the video game realm. I was there in the realm. This was already something that they knew that in Illusion, like I said, they already then pre-screened their own world. So devices that they made from the early 2000s, since the beginning of this, century, since the 20th century, electronic devices was going to be the burial. That was going to be the shovel that buried the conscience. It was going to be it. Electronic devices, that was going to be the shovel to bury the conscience, to bury you away from self. And video games were already made before then, but they were coming into the 20th century. These were coming into the new, everything upgraded, the next level. And if they got you to jump on that wave, they knew that was going to be great energy loss. And it was that. My energy was getting sucked straight out of me into the video, into the video realm. Like, I was literally dove in. Seriously. And so I had the Game Boy Advance. Fast forward a couple of years after that, I got the PlayStation, the first one, the big bulky one. And that motherfucker was everything to me as well. When I got that for the first time, I was so invested into it that it drove my grandparents, it drove them like crazy. Because when I had got it, I was staying with my grandparents at the time, and they couldn't stand when they would see me playing that in the house all the time. I had to get kicked out. I did. And they couldn't stand it. They would kick me out the house and tell me to go outside and play. I was just a whole different being at the time. I was different. My brothers, they already labeled me as the gamer. I already had that label. I was a gamer. I made it my business every weekend to get up before everybody else in the house, go downstairs, go in the kitchen, and sit at the table and just wait till my grandparents wake up to ask them, can I turn the game on? Like, cause it was just that bad to where if I turned it on, she started fussing. My grandma, she'll start going in on me. You know what I'm saying? Early in the morning, I run straight downstairs and I'm hooked. I'm drawn to the game. I'm drawn to it. Like, damn. I had no control. So that, I had the PlayStation 1 and it was everything when I had it. Then fast forward, I got the PlayStation 2, the Slim Boy, and I had the original. I had the black one, and that motherfucker was everything to me as well. Like, every device, like every game, every electronical device I had meant something to me, and it had me hooked greatly. And I was just throwing away my life more and more, getting away from self, getting away from what I could really be doing in this world. And I even looked at it as though, like, maybe video games was my purpose. Maybe that was something that I could have used as I couldn't have saw that as my talent, as my gift. Was that what I was here to do? Was I here to play video games? Was I here to be a video gamer? But it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like it. And looking at my past, like, it felt like I just was more controlled by games itself, because I never wanted to tear away from the game. I never wanted to do anything else but sit in the house all day and play the game. And I just can't see that as being healthy to self. I can't see that as being healthy for you to just not give yourself a moment of leeway to step away. Give yourself some time to take a break. I was somebody who didn't want to take a break, so that's how I knew it was like, I didn't see it as something that I was meant to do. I don't see it now, something that I'm meant to do. But I had the PlayStation 2. Shit was even greater being, because, still being like it was just a fucking slim version. They do that shit. Give you the slim version. Knowing that it was the same console. So, ain't nothing too different. It was just, something I had to have, because shit, it was another console. Still a game, so if it's a console, if it's a game, I'm gonna play it. And I was drawn into it. So I had it and I loved it. And fast forward to that. That's when I got the Xbox 360. And then Xbox 360, that changed my life. Now that changed my life for the whole better, because this was something totally different. And I thought I was gonna stay with PlayStation, because shit, that's all I know, when I first got my first console. But then I switched over to Microsoft. Microsoft, that's a different topic for another day. But yeah, I got an Xbox 360, and my world was changed after that, because the video realm became all new. Because first, when I was in the video realm, I wasn't even playing against other beings in the video realm. I wasn't even playing against nobody else in the video realm. So I wasn't, the multiplayer, wasn't playing against other beings in the video realm as well. Before then, I was just playing against CPUs, bots. I was just playing against myself, really. But now I got an Xbox 360, and I was experiencing just that now. I was playing against other people, connecting with other beings around the world in the video realm as well. And it was just probably by far the most amazing thing ever. And I was drawn in heavy. It was over then. I never saw outside. I didn't communicate, didn't have friends. I was alone. All I knew was the video realm. That was my home. I would tap in, and that's where I would be 24/7. I would be there. I wasn't anything in the world. Nothing in the world. Nobody knew me in the world. I didn't know nobody in the world. And I didn't even know myself. All I knew was that I was an avatar. That's all I was. I was an avatar in the motherfucking video realm. And I was walking around meeting other avatars. So, yeah, Xbox 360 was different. It was new. It surfaced, and I was a whole new evolved gamer, and that shit I was alive. I felt great, and they pretty much already had all my energy. They had me, so even if I wanted to stop, there was no stopping. It was over. Especially after I got hooked to a certain game they brought out, which is, this game is, it's the worst energy stiller ever, you know. But I started playing this game called Gears of War. And something about they best top selling games on Xbox, those be the most energy stealing games ever made. Like, they take you away from the outside world. This is just speaking, this is my opinion, right? They just take you away from the outside world. Every game that's a top bestseller, they're a top bestseller for a reason. Because those are the games that are played the most. Those games literally keep you from the outside. Those games keep you away from doing things like meditating, doing things like self-reflecting. You're not gonna want to do those things when, you know, this top best-selling game is winning over all of that. You're not gonna want to step away from that. You're not gonna want to step away from a game that's just good in numbers. That's got everybody so drawn into it because of how action-packed filled it is, or how amazing the game is. You're not gonna want to take time out your day to literally meditate or self-reflect. You're not gonna allow yourself to do that because, again, you're tapped into the video realm. You're in there and you're roaming around with other avatars who's also tapped into the video realm that love it there, because you're free within, you know, you're free in there to not be judged, to not feel anything. You can do whatever you want to do in the video realm. Be a whole different person. And that's how I felt. I felt like I was free in there. I was free in there to be somebody told I could just change who I was, because I didn't even put myself back into the world to adapt to the world, to be who I'm truly meant to be self, to be okay, to be around other beings who are also here, you know, supposed to be who they are as well. Not fearing each other at all, not trying to escape self, but loving self, to know that you ain't gotta escape nothing but this fuck ass illusion and everything in it that wants to destroy you. But so yeah, Xbox 360, new. It was Xbox Live. It was live. You didn't have it. You lost, because nobody playing Xbox Live when it first. Nobody playing Xbox Live and playing it against no computers. Now, you was somebody that was comfortable, because that, like I said, that was back then. Like me, I was all for it. Like, I was all for playing on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. I was cool with playing those systems and playing against computers, because, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't really, there was no, you know, I was okay with, you know, challenging bots. Again, you know, it was just me. I wasn't tapped in with nobody. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't Avatar. I was just me, you know what I'm saying? I was just playing the game and not actually conversing with others on the game. But Xbox Live came and then boom, that's totally different. That was totally different. It was just like, it was your subscription pass to enter into the fucking video realm, man. You could be in here whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be. Nobody gonna judge you. And even if they do, how can you judge? And you in the video realm too, bro. Some people come in there and still be cocky. You still have cocky egos even in the video realm. A lot of people play games just to get away from self, just to get away from the world, because they know that in the world, this bullshit ass illusionary world, judgment is what's portrayed as fear to demonize who you are and how you act and the way you act. But yeah, so I had Xbox 360, Gears of War, and I was playing that shit all my life. That fucking game, man, that shit stole so much of my time away. And this how I know that I wasn't somebody to see myself as a gamer, because I played the game so much, but I never actually tried to make it a profession. I never tried to make the game a profession. I just was a gamer. I just like to play the game. I just like to wake up every day, hop on the game, tap in, and then, never tap out until it was time for me to get off for the day. Then I'll wake up and then tap right back in. I never actually took the game as serious as I wanted to when I was playing. I wanted to be serious at the game, but I never did. So, and I stayed on the Gears of War wave for the longest, all the way up until their newest title right now. Yeah, Microsoft, and I didn't literally drench my blood in that contract. They didn't have my soul, so I snatched it back. Now it's not even, I wouldn't even give it a second thought to get those bastards my fucking soul back. I wouldn't. Because up until my spiritual awakening, they had it. Now I know self is important. Everything that I missed out on, almost, it literally still, even all the way up until my spiritual awakening, I was still giving away all my time and my life to the game. Still reflecting the outside, still reflecting being out in the world and feeling the energy of the earth. Being comfortable around other beings. I've been so uncomfortable around other beings my whole life because I never was actually in the world to be around beings. Because I was somebody who only loved the inside. And that's never okay. It's nothing, but see, that's why I'm so strong to this illusion, because I've always been alone. I've always been alone. I never had nobody. So I've always been comfortable with myself and being alone. I never tried to reach out to others to be friends, to make friends and shit like that. I had friends. I had friends in school, but not outside of school. And before video games, I had friends that I grew up with in my childhood. Yeah, I had friends. But all of that got cut off once I gave my soul away to, to the gargoyles. I let them feed on my energy. I said, shit, I'll play games for the rest of my life. And say, fuck the outside, fuck friends, fuck a relationship. I'll just stay with this controller in my hand for the rest of my life. And that's what I saw. That's what I saw. I saw it was okay to play a video game, and that was it. That was the normal. When it's not. But now, I'm awakened to know that. I'm awakened to know that it's not alright to sit up every day and play a video game like it's not destroying your life when you don't have control to step away from the game. And I'm not just talking about for a couple of hours. I'm talking about step away from the game for about a week, a month, even a year. Because the more and more time you put into a video game, the more and more your life is being passed up to a game that doesn't age. A video game won't age, but you will. And that's how I look at it. My life was aging, but the game wasn't. So the game had years and years of my energy within it, stored in it. It was staying healthy while I was getting unhealthy and becoming older and older on a video game. But that was my past life. So I know that my life now is nothing like that. And this is the happiest I ever been with no game in my life. I done went a whole month and some change without the game, and that's the universe showing me that I was strong all along. I was strong all along to literally just see the game for just being that, a device, nothing that has no control over my life. Like you had the energy within you to do that the whole time, but I just kept giving it away. But I'm strong now, so ain't no controlling me. I control the device. I can choose when I want it back in my life or when I don't. That's the truth.